Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle. I'm the tourism manager for the city of Woodstock, and today I'll be doing a pie baking demo with Lauren with Pie Bar. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, we're doing this kind of little series of demos to kind of give people some entertainment while you're stuck at home during quarantine, and also some tips on some stuff you can actually make at home from some of the food experts we have in downtown Woodstock from the various restaurants. So I'm very happy to be joined with Lauren today. Lauren, for people that aren't familiar, could you tell us a little bit about Pie Bar?
Absolutely. So Pie Bar is in downtown Woodstock. We will be celebrating our 5-year anniversary this fall. And if you come in on a normal day, pre-pandemic, you could sit down and have a cup of coffee and a slice of pie. But currently we're still trying to serve our community sweet pie and savory pie. So you can come in, you can sit outside, you can grab your car and pull up and we'll run it right out to you. But essentially we serve sweet pie by the slice or whole pie, as well as savory pies you can get and take and bake at home.
Awesome. And today we'll be doing the demo with Pie Provisions, which is another business of yours. So can you tell a little bit about that real quick?
So a couple of years ago, we launched Pie Provisions. Really, it's an extension of Pie Bar. It is still Pie Bar. We just wanted to create products so people could have the experiences that Cody and I shared when we first started Pie Bar, and that was spending time together in the kitchen and baking pies. So we have our perfect pie kit, which is a crust mix and a filling. You just add butter and water here and you can make your flaky pie dough just the same as we do here at Pie Bar, and that's what we're going to do today.
Awesome. And I'll go ahead and apologize to the viewers. I am very tall. I'm 6'6", so I'll have to move my computer screen so Zoom will get the demo. So you'll get half my body for most of the video. But I apologize for that, but that's the downside of being super tall. So with that,
shelves that you can reach.
I can reach. I often at the grocery store I get asked to reach the top shelves. That's common. So I guess with that, we'll go ahead and get started with the demo. So I'll lower my screen, and Lauren, you just start giving me instructions.
You got it. Okay, so yeah, I'd say maybe a little bit lower. Awesome. Okay, great. So basically what we're going to start with is making pie crust. And so Kyle, if you want to go ahead and open up your pie crust mix, inside here, you've already got your pre-weighed flour, sugar, and salt. Perfect, as well as a little card. And that card is going to talk you through every single step. If I'm not on your Zoom call or at your house like Kyle has, that card is basically me, just in card form. So Kyle's going to open up that bag, and then we're going to do a couple of different steps. Perfect. So it's really important when you're making pie crust that you, one, have fun with it. Don't stress out, because then you're going to overwork your dough and you don't need to worry about that. But two, perfect, pour it right in, Kyle. Two, you want to make sure that you're using the right ingredients. So this is going to go ahead and take care of that for you. All you have to do then is add that butter and water. So Kyle, why don't you go ahead and retrieve that butter? Okay. Yay.
And I'll mention on the card, it does outline everything you need outside the kit. So everything from mixing bowl, all that type of stuff. So that's why I have all that stuff handy.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so we've got our butter, and just to show everyone, that's an unsalted butter. If you have salted, that's fine, but just know that you may have a little bit of a saltier crust, so we want to go unsalted if possible. So we're going to cut up that butter by doing a technique I like to call hot dog hamburger. So Kyle, go ahead and grab your bench scraper for me. That's your pastry blender. That one's got some knives. We don't want to use that one yet. There you go. We're going to use our bench scraper. So if you don't have one of these at home, you can use a knife, but we're going to use a bench scraper today. So Kyle's going to go ahead and open up our butter. Perfect. We're setting up to open here at Pie Bar. So if you see me looking away, it's because Vivian's distracting me with all of the delicious pies.
And that's probably a good point to ask. I know obviously y'all kind of maybe changed up your menu a little bit during this current situation. Can you tell people like the top of pies they can currently get from y'all during this quarantine?
Absolutely. While I tell them, I'm going to have you do hot dog hamburger, Kyle. So remember, hot dog first, one cut through. Perfect. Right down the center. Gorgeous form. Go strong. All right, now you're gonna flip it over once, roll it over for me. Yep, you're gonna hot dog again. Nice. And then you're gonna hamburger. So what I mean by that is you're gonna then cut it vertically about 7 times so that we end up with these small little cubes. And then when you're done with that, you're gonna do it to the second stick as well.
Okay.
Perfect. So you can see he's cutting it up. So while Kyle's working on that, I can kind of let you know our flavors are, for the most part, staying the same. We've started seeing a little bit of sourcing issues. We're having trouble getting a lot of eggs, buttermilk, things that make a lot of our spring flavored pies. So secretly, we're working on coming up with some pies that maybe we can offer that aren't normally on our menu. So we had a bunch of strawberries delivered recently. We're hoping to play around with those a little bit. We're working on maybe some cherry, anything that we can do to kind of keep people feeling good at home. They can run out and grab a slice and then head back home and enjoy it is what we're wanting to do for them.
In addition to the sweet pies, y'all do a lot of savory pies, correct?
We do. We've got a couple of different flavors of quiche, a couple of different flavors of pot pie, and then a shepherd's pie. Perfect. Okay, so paying attention here to Kyle doing hot dog, hamburger again. A lot of people question.
Did you invent that terminology or did you learn that from somebody else?
I am very proud to say I invented that culinary idea of hot dog, hamburger. I think that if you go way back in kindergarten, they talked a lot about that, but not necessarily in relation to butter. Perfect. But a lot of people ask, like, why are we doing it specifically this way? Why can't you just throw the butter in there and then cut it up? I like to think a lot about setting ourselves up for success. So we want our butter, by the time we cut it in, to be pea-sized, maybe some a little bit smaller and some a little bit bigger. And this is just setting us up for success there. Nice. Right. You've got it all cut up?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, go ahead now and add it to your bowl that has your flour, sugar, and salt, which is out of your high crust mix. You're gonna add it all. So if you are not a butter fan, you can do this with a Crisco. You can do this with a margarine. I think Kyle has done that before. So you can play around with different things. So now, Kyle, before we use our pastry blender, we're just gonna go hands in and we're gonna break up all that butter, make sure that each cube of butter is covered with some flour. I love it. Notice Kyle's form here. Notice he's not doing the creepy massage that a lot of people do. He's going underneath and up, and then he's mixing it over. He's mixing it all together and making sure that that butter is surrounded by flour. How's it feel?
Feels pretty good.
Nice. I love it. Okay, so why don't you show them your pastry blender? So this tool can be used, you notice at the front of it, it is knives. So we want to be really careful and never use our hand to clean it. We're going to be using a spatula or a fork or anything else that we're not sticking our fingers in it. So when we use our pastry blender, Kyle, you can do 2 methods. The first one is going to be the rocking horse. So you're going to stick your hand holding the blender right into your flour, sugar, salt, and butter. And then you're going to move back and forth. You're going to be rocking it at your shoulder. Notice how he's using his left hand to hold the bowl. That's great. Perfect. And he's using the blender to cut that butter up for him. Another method you could use is the corkscrew. So I'm going to scoot back a little. So instead of going back and forth here, you can twist left to right, left to right. Same thing. He's using his left hand to hold it. I like to even use my bowl as a tool. So Kyle, when you're doing it, try this for me. Turn your bowl in between each time. There you go. So now his bowl is working for him. The pastry blender is working for him. And you can see he's gone back to that rocking horse. That's what feels more comfortable for him. We just do not want to do chicken scratch, which would be holding it like this and going crazy. We don't want that. Perfect. So while you're doing that, Kyle, I'm going to explain kind of the purpose of what you're doing.
Okay.
We want our butter, like I said before, pea size, some a little bit smaller, some a little bit larger. And the reason is once we get through multiple steps, you're going to add your water. Days later, or even a couple of hours later, you're going to roll it out, and you're going to want to see those butter spots inside of your dough. And when you take a really cold pie dough with cold butter in it and stick it in that really hot oven, that butter is going to evaporate, right? And it's going to leave behind a tiny little air pocket. And that air pocket is what's going to give us those really nice flaky bits. How are you looking over there, Kyle?
It is almost at the right size, I think.
Almost at the right size. Nice.
I think we're about there now.
Oh, I love it. Perfect. You're doing such a great job. What kind of pie are you going to make with this, Kyle?
We'll have the ginger peach jar, so I guess that's what we'll go with.
Oh, you're going to do a ginger peach pie. I love it. Perfect. All right, so don't use your hand. Maybe clean off your scraper with your spatula. And then let's go hands in again, Kyle, and fluff it up again. That way we can check it and see how it's feeling. If we need to go in and break up larger chunks with our fingers, we can.
All right.
What's your favorite color, Kyle?
My favorite color would either be a dark blue or red.
Huh. I wonder what that says about you. I think the dark blue is calming, but red's like pretty extreme. So they're kind of back.
I'm a UGA fan.
Oh, I should have known it.
My color I like just because I like it.
Okay, I understand. Where did you go to college?
I did my first 2 years at Young Harris College, and I finished up at Berry.
Oh, very good. That's awesome. Did you just like love roaming around Berry's campus? Did you pretend to be a deer?
It is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it was a treat to be in. Of course, Young Harris has a beautiful campus too, because you're right in the heart of the North Georgia Mountains. So I definitely lucked out on the beauty of the campuses I went to.
That's so cool. All righty. So tell us about your flour, sugar, salt, and butter. How's our butter sizes?
It's looking good. It's kind of the pea size you were saying, like little pebble size.
Can you hold a little bit in your hand and put it closer to the camera for our viewers at home?
I'll try.
Oh, perfect. Okay. It's a little tough to see, but we're going to pretend we can. They're doing this on Home Shopping Network, and I've never wanted to watch Home Shopping Network more than I have now because I want to see what people's houses look like.
I can imagine so.
Okay. So on a normal day, I would say let this rest a little bit, put it back in your fridge, let that butter get really cold again. But today's not a normal day. Today is a Kyle and Lauren bake around. So we're going to keep going. Does that work for you?
Sure does.
Yay. Okay, go ahead to your fridge again, and let's get your cold ice water. And while Kyle's opening his fridge, let's all peep in there and see what he has. Oh, a lot of orange juice.
A lot of orange juice. I'm a big orange juice drinker.
You get a lot of vitamin C.
Try to.
Nice. All right. Do you have a tablespoon?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. So what we are going to be doing, Kyle, is you're going to be adding your water. Instead of pouring it all like this, we're going to add it a little bit at a time. With your pie crust mix, you're going to be adding anywhere between like 8 and 12 tablespoons. It really depends on the size of your butter, how cold your butter is, how cold the air is around you, a lot of factors. So what we're going to be looking for, and you can go ahead and start adding your water. What we're going to be looking for is for the dough to come together into a ball, but we don't want it to be sticky and tacky, like wearing polka dots and stripes. Did you get my joke, Kyle?
A little bit.
Are you saying that it was a bad joke? I need to work on my material?
Well, I'm not a fashion expert, so I wouldn't necessarily know if that would be tacky or not. I'm assuming by the joke it is. So.
It would have been, but then several years ago it became fashionable. But now I don't know. I don't know where it stands. I don't know if you're a fashion like diva if you do it or if you're tacky. So I guess if somebody's watching this wearing both, we'll go with diva.
There we go.
Okay. So
I did about 4. So do I need to keep on going or stop? Or?
Great. Let's start with that. Do you want to use your spatula or you want to go full hands?
I'll go hands. All
right. Let's get our hands in there. Remember, not creepy massage. Yep. But from underneath, we're going to mix it around. Perfect. What form? I know people are jonesing for some sports right now, but I mean, come on. Nice. Okay, how's it feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
All right. And in terms of water and wetness and moisture, how's it feeling?
It's definitely got incorporated, but there's still for sure a lot of dry parts.
Got it. Love it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and add a little more water then. Clean off our fingers and add some more water, a few more tablespoons. Nice. And while you're doing that, Kyle, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, normally I'm a big sports fan, but obviously that's not happening at the moment. I read a ton. That's probably my biggest hobby. I actually have one of my rooms in my house is just my own personal library. So I have coming in on close on 600 books in my collection.
Oh, shoot.
Yep.
Are they like, okay, perfect. Let's stop there. So you've got now a total of about 8 tablespoons. So go ahead and start mixing again. Do you have a specific genre you like?
So I read, the genres I read the most is sci-fi, historical fiction,
Romance.
alternate history, dystopian, and then nonfiction history. And then I also, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I read a lot of Star Wars books. So I've actually read almost 100 Star Wars novels.
Yikes. That is a lot of Star Wars, man. You're going to find somebody out there who's just like, OMG, that's amazing. I need to connect with Kyle immediately. He is single.
No, I'm single, that's true.
What if like your partner is watching this? Like, that's not true at all. Kyle's
All right, it's definitely a lot more wetter and it's starting to get clumpy.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test it to see if it's ready to come together. So you're gonna use your hands to create a dough ball. We don't wanna, perfect, we don't wanna squeeze so tight that we're packing it, but we are gonna kind of hot potato it together. Is it staying together? Not quite yet.
Not quite.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do before we add more water is you probably have, notice how it's on your hands? You
Yep.
probably have some water clumps. So you're gonna go in really quickly and break those up using your fingers like this, breaking up those water clumps, perfect. And fluffing it around. That way that moisture can get spread out and then we don't add too much more water.
All right.
Nice. And this is what, like your first or second time making a pie? Second time?
Second time.
Second time. I can't wait for you to work at Pie Bar.
So how much more water do you think I need to add?
All right, how's it feel now? Can you tell, did more moisture get spread around after you did that?
It definitely seems a little bit more spread around. Yeah, it's not as clumpy.
Let's start with just doing 2 more tablespoons. That's gonna put us at 10. And keeping in mind too, there you go. 1. Perfect. Keeping in mind that your tablespoons may not have all been exactly leveled off. So you're at approximately 10.
Yep.
All right, let's mix it around again. What kind of music do you listen to, Kyle?
Probably a lot of stuff that was popular maybe in the 90s when I was a teenager and stuff. Probably a lot of alternative music. I do listen to old country.
Your favorite old country singer?
Johnny Cash. I just finished my last book. I just finished was a biography on Johnny Cash.
Oh, no way.
But lately, actually, I don't listen to his music as much because I've got into more of like when I'm in the car, I listen to podcasts a lot more.
Oh, here we are. I'm a podcasting fiend. I love it. Okay, perfect. All right, let's check it again. Let's do some dough balls. How does it feel now?
It's
coming together?
Yeah, it's holding together a little bit better. It's still crumbling a little bit, but it's a lot better than it was the last time.
All right, let's try 2 more tablespoons of water.
Okay.
Yeah. So those of you at home that are like, this is riveting, but get back to the pie. I'll tell you, basically what he's doing now is adding a little bit of water at a time because we want to use as little water as possible. What's happening is when we add water to flour, we're activating the gluten inside of that flour. And the more we work it, the angrier it gets. And that's when you can end up with like a tough or a chewy pie crust. That's why we're adding a little bit of water at a time and quickly mixing it and checking, because as little water as possible for it to hold together is going to give us a flakier pie crust because we're not activating that gluten quite as much. Science. All right, how we look now, Kyle?
It's definitely
we ready to try?
Mixed in and stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's try. Ah, Kyle Todd Bennett, come on, you can do it.
It held together.
Perfect. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is create 2 dough balls that are equal size. Awesome. And then you would wrap it with plastic wrap, make it into a disc, and throw it in your fridge. Kyle, you pie making savant.
Yep. Yeah, I know this is the part where we're going to cut off for time reasons, but you want to explain to people what you would do after the ball making process, basically.
Absolutely. You want to, are you going to finish the balls, or are you going to throw up the camera right there so we can look into each other's?
I'm going to wash my hands real quick and then I'll throw up the camera.
Okay. All right. While Kyle was washing his hands, let me brag on him for a second. Kyle is an active member of this community. He is a part of the City of Woodstock team, but he also is a historical genius. He told me that his family has lived in Cherokee County since when, Kyle?
The 1840s.
The 1840s. I mean, Kyle looks amazing, right? He's lived here since the 1840s. Congratulations. But no, so basically at this point, you would make your dough balls, you would wrap them in plastic really tightly, and then you press them down into a dough disc. You would put it in your refrigerator to rest for at least 2 hours before you roll it out, or you can leave it in there for a few days. When you're ready to make a pie, you're just gonna roll it right out, put it in your pie pan. You can use any pie filling you want. If you wanna make your life easy, you can use one of our ginger peach pie fillings. I really like this one because although it has the word ginger on it, it's not spicy. It's warm, which is really nice. You just pour this in, put another crust on top, and bake it for like an hour to 2 hours, depending on your oven, 350 or so for about an hour and a half, we'll say. Your filling is bubbling, your crust is golden brown, and then you've got a pie you can serve everyone.
So what is the, I know we were doing ginger peach today, but what are the other flavors you have available?
I currently have ginger peach. I've got our Georgia blueberry, and that one actually won first place in the 2019 confectionery division of the, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the contest suddenly. Isn't that? The taste of, no wait, what is it?
Flavor something, flavor.
Georgia. Yes, I've got quarantine brain, Kyle. I've only had 1 cup of coffee and I need more. Okay, so it won the 2019 Flavor of Georgia in the confectionery division. What a mouthful. And then I've also got our bourbon pecan. That one you just add butter and eggs, but our fruit ones, you just literally open them up and pour them right in.
Awesome, very cool. So for people that are interested, where is more places online and social media they can find info about Pie Bar?
Yeah, you can find Pie Bar. We're pretty active online. You can find us on Instagram at pie_bar, on Facebook at Pie Bar. Our website is orderpiebar.com. For the most part, if you send us something, we want to engage with you. So send us something, we'll respond back and have fun digitally.
And then in regard to where people can get your pies, I know obviously locally they can get it, but where do you ship your pie provision stuff?
We ship this thing all across the USA. So we can ship pie provision stuff from here, sea to shining sea. We can ship pie bar stuff, same thing, sea to shining sea. So we ship our sweet pies, we ship our savory pies. Hell, I'll ship Cody if you pay enough for him. We're excited about the prospect of shipping because it means we're getting to engage with people here in our community, but we're also getting to kind of spread the pie love across the United States, which is really cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Lauren. Appreciate the demo and all the great stuff that Pie Bar is doing. I'll mention if you want to keep up to date with what downtown Woodstock has going on currently, we're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that type of good stuff, just simply downtown Woodstock. We're posting daily about what all the businesses are doing during the quarantine, what they're offering in regard to pickup, delivery, that good type of good stuff. So be sure to follow that. And as Lauren mentioned, follow Pie Bar to see what they're up to. I hope you enjoyed the demo. Lauren, do you have something to add before we go?
A very important question I've been thinking about for a while. What do you make in your crock pot?
I've only used it once. I did red beans and rice with sausage in it.
Well, very good. All right. Well, then our next video is going to be Kyle Todd Bennett and Lauren Elizabeth Bolden, crock pot adventures.
Yeah, that was a Christmas gift from my mom. So yeah, has it been slowly learning anyway. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the future with some more demos from other members of my coworkers and some other restaurants in downtown Woodstock. And perhaps we'll do something with Pie Bar again in the future.
Woo. Bye, Kyle.
Bye, Lauren. All right. Cut.